Everybody wants a crowd. Everybody wants applause. But let me tell you this, sometimes the greatest power is found in silence when no one is clapping for you. In this video, we're going to talk about the man who walks alone, the man with few friends or maybe no circle at all. You've been told you're missing out. You've been told you're lonely. But what if I told you that's exactly where your strength is being built? Stay with me, because we're about to uncover the darkest power lessons that only the lonely man learns. Loneliness, that's a word that scares people. The moment somebody feels alone, the world tells them something is wrong. They rush to fill the silence with noise, and they run to surround themselves with anyone just to feel like they belong. But hear me now, loneliness is not weakness. Loneliness is preparation. Think about it. The strongest trees don't grow in crowded places. They don't grow under the shade of others. They grow standing alone, taking the full force of the wind, stretching their roots deep into the ground because they have no one else to lean on. And that's what happens when life places you in isolation. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. When you have no crowd, when you have no circle, you are forced to meet yourself. You start to hear your own voice. You start to confront the parts of you that you've been running from. And let me tell you something, most people never get to that point. Most people are so busy hiding in groups, blending into the noise, that they never actually meet themselves. But when you are alone, you don't have that escape. You look in the mirror and the truth looks right back at you. That truth hurts, but it also heals. Loneliness strips away illusions. It shows you who your real friends are. But more importantly, it shows you if you're your own friend or your own enemy. Because that's the battle we all face. You can't lead others if you can't even lead yourself. And you can't love others if you don't even know how to respect yourself. The silence becomes a teacher, and that teacher is tough. It will test you, it will break you, but it will also build you. When the phone doesn't ring, when nobody checks on you, when the room feels empty, that's when discipline becomes your companion. That's when focus becomes your friend. That's when you learn to work without validation, to grind without applause, to move without someone holding your hand. And when you come out of that season, you don't need noise anymore. You've learned how to walk in silence with strength. Loneliness gives you vision. Do you know why? Because distractions disappear. A crowded life leaves no room for clarity. But when you're alone, you start to see where you've been wasting time, who's been wasting your energy, and what really matters. Your dreams get louder. Your purpose gets clearer. And suddenly you realize this silence that you feared was actually your greatest gift. Think about every great man history has ever known. At some point, they were alone. Isolation is where prophets heard from God. Isolation is where leaders find their courage. Isolation is where warriors sharpen their swords. And you, yes you, when you are in that place of loneliness, you're not being abandoned, you're being refined. The problem is we're addicted to people. We're addicted to approval. We think if we're not surrounded by friends, something is wrong. But let me tell you this, some of the worst decisions in your life will come from your fear of being alone. You stay in toxic friendships because you don't want silence. You keep fake people around because you're afraid of being the last man standing. But when you learn that loneliness is not weakness, you take your power back. Preparation means you're getting ready for something bigger than you. And preparation often requires separation. Diamonds don't form in public, they form in the dark, under pressure, away from the crowd. And you in your loneliness are being shaped into something rare, something unbreakable, something strong. So the next time you sit in a room and feel that silence pressing on you, don't call it loneliness, call it training. Don't call it weakness, call it sharpening. Don't run from it, don't numb it. Don't try to bury it with people who don't even care about you. Embrace it, because one day, that very season you hated will be the reason you stand tall when others crumble. There's a strength most people will never understand, and it comes from walking alone. See, everybody wants a crowd. Everybody wants company on the journey. They think the road is safer when it's crowded, and they think the path is easier when they've got someone to lean on. But let me tell you this, the power of walking alone is unmatched. Walking alone doesn't mean you're lost. Walking alone doesn't mean you're weak. Walking alone means you found a path that others are too afraid to walk. Because the truth is, not everybody will see your vision. Not everybody will understand your purpose. And if you keep waiting for everyone to join you, you'll never take that first step. Think about it. The eagle doesn't fly in flocks. The lion doesn't ask for permission before it hunts. The great ones, the real ones, they walk their path even if no one else believes in it. That's what walking alone is about. It's about trusting the direction God placed in your heart, even when the world is calling you crazy. But here's the catch: walking alone is not easy. It will test you. It will feel like rejection, like abandonment. People you thought would stand with you will turn their backs. Friends you thought were family will disappear. And you'll ask yourself, why me? Why am I the one left behind? And that's when you have to remember, the power of walking alone is that it strips you of dependency. It forces you to stand on your own 2 feet. It teaches you that your strength doesn't come from who walks beside you. It comes from what walks within you. Walking alone shows you the truth about people. Because let's be honest, it's easy for someone to clap when the crowd is clapping. It's easy for someone to walk with you when the road is smooth. But the moment it gets hard, the moment the path gets rough, watch how quickly people vanish. Walking alone reveals who is real and who is just there for the ride. And in that revelation, you find freedom. Because when you realize you don't need a crowd to survive, when you realize you don't need approval to move forward, you become unstoppable. Nobody can control you. Nobody can limit you. Nobody can use your fear of loneliness against you. You've tasted the silence, you've faced the shadows, and you kept moving. That is power. Walking alone also builds focus. You can't hear your own thoughts when you're surrounded by noise. You can't see your own vision when you're blinded by the opinions of others. Alone, you see clearly. Alone, you think sharply. Alone, you hear the whisper of destiny calling your name. That whisper often gets drowned out in the noise of crowds. But when you're by yourself, you finally hear it. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. There's a reason why warriors train in solitude. There's a reason why prophets retreat to the wilderness. There's a reason why inventors, dreamers, creators spend long nights alone while the world sleeps. Because greatness requires separation. The power of walking alone is that it places you in a space where you can't hide behind anyone. You can't blame anyone. You can't lean on anyone. It's just you, your will, your faith, and your grind. But the beauty of this, once you've walked alone and survived, you're never the same again. The fear is gone. The dependence is gone. The desperation for acceptance is gone. You learn to stand with confidence. You learn to move with certainty. You learn to live with a strength that no crowd can ever give you. Walking alone means you've chosen purpose over popularity. You've chosen vision over validation. You've chosen growth over comfort. And yes, the world might not understand it. They might laugh, they might criticize, they might even call you arrogant. But remember, most people laugh at what they can't do. Most people criticize what they don't dare to face. And most people call arrogance what they secretly wish they had the strength to choose. So when you find yourself on that path, no voices, no support, no one to clap for you, remember this: you're not weak, you're not abandoned, you're not lost. You are walking into a power that only the lonely road can give you. You are walking into clarity, into courage, into conviction. And that power, once you've tasted it, nobody can ever take from you. Have you ever noticed how people brag about having a big circle? They take pride in saying, I've got so many friends, I know everybody. Everybody loves me. But what they don't realize is this: the bigger the circle, the bigger the target for betrayal. The bigger the circle, the more snakes you've let in. And that's why one of the darkest lessons you will ever learn in life is this: protecting your energy is more important than expanding your circle. Not everybody who shakes your hand is your friend. Not everybody who smiles at you wants to see you win. Some people only clap for you because it hides their jealousy. Some people only stand next to you because they want to steal your light. That's why you've got to guard your energy like it's treasure. Because it is. You see, your energy is your life force. It's your fuel, your spirit, your strength. And if you let the wrong people in, they will drain it before you even realize what happened. Fake circles are filled with people who don't clap when you're not in the room, people who use your name when it benefits them but disappear when you need them. And the problem is, too many of us keep them around just because we're scared of looking alone. But here's the truth: a man with 5 loyal soldiers is stronger than a man with 50 fake ones. A man who walks with 2 real brothers has more power than a man who walks with 100 pretenders. Because loyalty is not about numbers. Loyalty is about truth. When you learn to protect your energy, you start to see who's real and who's not. Watch how people react when you succeed. Do they celebrate you or do they stay silent? Watch how they act when you fail. Do they support you or do they gossip? Watch what they do when you're not in the room. Do they defend your name? Or do they join in the laughter? That's how you find the truth. Protecting your energy means learning how to cut ties without guilt. It means saying, I love you, but I can't have you in my space. It means knowing that some people can only go with you to the door, but they can't walk into the next room. Because not everyone is meant to be part of your destiny. Some people are just distractions, some are just lessons, and some are just dead weight holding you back. And here's the hardest part. You don't lose fake people when you cut them off. You lose the illusion that they were ever real. That hurts, but it also frees you. Because once you realize they were never truly for you, you stop wasting your energy trying to keep them. Protecting your energy also means being selective with your time. Every conversation you entertain, every argument you step into, every environment you walk into, it's all energy. If you spend your days in toxic circles, don't be surprised when your mind feels poisoned. If you surround yourself with gossip, don't be shocked when your spirit feels heavy. What you let around you eventually lives inside you. Some people will say you've changed. They'll say you're different. But don't let that shake you. You're not changing, you're evolving. You're not pushing people away, you're protecting your peace. And peace is more valuable than popularity. Think about how many great men fell because of the wrong circle. Leaders betrayed by their closest allies. Kings overthrown by their so-called friends. Even ordinary men were destroyed by trusting people who never truly cared. It always starts the same way, with someone they thought they could trust. That's why you must protect your energy before it's too late. Walking with a fake circle is like drinking poisoned water every day. It doesn't kill you instantly. It kills you slowly. You stop dreaming so big. You start doubting yourself. You start carrying baggage that was never yours to carry. And by the time you realize it, years of your life have been wasted. But when you guard your space, when you surround yourself only with people who want to see you grow, your energy stays pure. You feel lighter, stronger, sharper. You move with confidence because you know the people next to you aren't holding knives behind their backs. You speak with boldness because you know the ears listening aren't planning to twist your words. Protecting your energy doesn't mean you hate people. It doesn't mean you're cold. It means you love yourself enough to choose peace over poison, strength over sabotage, and authenticity over appearances. It means you've realized that not everyone deserves access to you, because access is power, and you can't hand that power to just anyone. So remember this, don't measure your worth by the size of your circle. Measure it by the quality of the souls allowed inside it. One real ally is worth more than 100 fakes. Protect your energy, because once it's gone, you can't get it back. Everybody wants a team. Everybody wants a circle they can trust, brothers they can lean on, sisters who have their back. But here's the truth. Before you can build a circle, before you can lead a team, before you can walk with others, you must first conquer yourself. Self-mastery comes before brotherhood. What does that mean? It means you can't expect loyalty from others if you don't even know how to be loyal to yourself. You can't expect discipline from a team if you can't even wake up and discipline your own habits. You can't expect respect from the world if you don't even respect the man you see in the mirror. Self-mastery is the foundation, and without it, everything else will fall apart. Most people think leadership is about telling others what to do. No, leadership begins in silence. Leadership begins when nobody is watching, when it's just you against you. Can you control your thoughts? Can you control your emotions? Can you control your impulses when the temptation to quit is right in front of you? Because if you can't master yourself, you'll never be able to carry others. Look at the greatest men in history. Before they led armies, before they inspired nations, they all faced the battle within. They learned how to endure pain, how to walk through fire, how to discipline their flesh and sharpen their mind. That's why when people followed them, it wasn't just because of their words, it was because of their example. People follow strength. People follow conviction. And conviction only comes from mastering yourself first. Self-mastery is about responsibility. It's about saying, I will not blame the world. I will not blame my friends. I will not blame my past. I will hold myself accountable. That kind of power is rare, but it's necessary. Because without accountability, you will always depend on others to push you, and dependence will keep you weak. Brotherhood is powerful, but if you walk into it broken, insecure, and undisciplined, you'll poison the whole circle. You'll drag down the very people you want to lean on. You can't demand loyalty if you're not loyal. You can't demand sacrifice if you're not willing to sacrifice. Brotherhood isn't built on words, it's built on example. And that example starts with self-mastery. When you master yourself, you become reliable. People know they can count on you. When storms come, they know you won't panic. When temptation comes, they know you won't fold. When pressure comes, they know you won't quit. That's the kind of man others want to follow. Not the one who talks loudly, but the one who stands tall. Self-mastery also means mastering your emotions. Anger, pride, fear. These things destroy more men than any outside enemy. How many friendships have been lost because someone couldn't control their temper? How many opportunities were destroyed because a man couldn't swallow his pride? How many dreams were killed because fear spoke louder than faith? The man who cannot master himself will always be a slave, no matter how many people surround him. You want a brotherhood? Then build yourself first. Because when you're disciplined, when you're focused, when you've conquered your weaknesses, you naturally attract others who are built the same way. That's how real brotherhood forms. Not by searching for people to complete you, but by becoming whole first, so you can stand beside others as equals. And here's the truth: brotherhood without self-mastery is dangerous. A weak man with friends becomes a liability. He can't carry his weight. He can't be trusted under pressure. He talks big but delivers nothing. But a man who has mastered himself doesn't just bring strength to the table. He raises the standard for everyone else around him. The journey of self-mastery is not glamorous. It's not something people clap for. It happens in the dark. It happens when you wake up earlier than everyone else. It happens when you say no to distractions while others indulge. It happens when you fight battles nobody else even knows you're fighting. And every time you win a battle against yourself, you sharpen your sword. You become stronger, clearer, and more focused. And when you finally step into brotherhood, your presence alone makes others rise. Don't get it twisted. Self-mastery doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you'll never fail. It means you are aware, disciplined, and consistent. It means you learn from mistakes instead of repeating them. It means you keep your word, even when it hurts. It means you stay focused, even when the world tries to distract you. That's the man who earns respect. That's the man who builds brotherhood on a solid foundation. Because when the storms of life hit, and they will hit, brotherhood is tested. But if every man in that circle has already mastered himself, the circle doesn't break. It bends, it struggles, but it doesn't collapse. Self-mastery is what makes brotherhood unshakable. Without it, the bond is fragile. With it, the bond is unbreakable. So before you go searching for a circle, before you go begging for loyalty, before you go chasing brotherhood, look in the mirror. Ask yourself, have I mastered myself? Because the man who cannot conquer himself will never conquer anything else. And the man who cannot stand alone will never stand strong with others. So let me bring it all together for you. A man with few friends or no circle is not a weak man. He's not a man who's failing. He is a man in training. Loneliness is not weakness, it's preparation. The silence is not your enemy, it's your classroom. The power of walking alone is that it teaches you strength that crowds can never give. Protect your energy, because fake circles will drain you faster than solitude ever will. Better to walk alone with truth than to sit in a crowded room full of betrayal. And before you search for brotherhood, before you go looking for loyalty in others, learn to master yourself. Because if you can't conquer yourself, you'll never build anything that lasts with anyone else. So the next time you feel like you don't belong, the next time you wonder why your circle is so small, remember this: maybe you were never meant to fit in. Maybe you were chosen to stand out. Maybe this season of isolation is your season of transformation. Because a man who learns to walk alone will never again be afraid of the road ahead.